All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of billionaire real estate.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like fun.
You know, you'd think with all that money, these guys would be living in solid gold mansions on the moon.
Huh. Right. Castles and private islands galore.
Exactly. But get this, we found this awesome article on realestate.com.au, and let me tell you, it's full of surprises. It's all about, the property portfolios of the world's richest men, and we're here to figure out if there's like a secret formula to how they choose where to live.
I mean, it's fascinating, right? Like, their choices could reveal so much about what they care about, what's important to them.
Exactly. And we're better to start than with the richest guy on the planet.
Makes sense to me.
Elon Musk.
Mm.
As of January, his net worth is a mind-blowing $444 billion.
Oh, wow.
But here's the twist. Ready for this? This guy, who could literally buy a small country, chooses to live in a rental.
Really? No way. That's kind of wild. You'd think he'd be surrounded by, luxury.
Right. But Musk has actually made a big deal about living a more, minimalist lifestyle.
Mm.
He's even said he wants to get rid of almost all of his possessions.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And his main home definitely reflects that. He's living in this, pretty modest prefab house in Boca Chica, Texas.
Texas.
Yep, right near the SpaceX starbase. And get this, the whole thing's only worth like $50,000.
Wow. That's like a drop in the bucket for him. So I guess, his focus really is on SpaceX. It's like his whole life revolves around it.
Yeah, like his real estate strategy is basically just live where you work, which in his case happens to be a space exploration company.
Pretty cool.
But hold on, it's not like he's always been a renter. I mean, he used to own this crazy, luxurious estate in Hillsborough, California.
Oh, yeah.
47 acres. Worth a cool $30 million.
Wow.
He sold it back in 2021, though.
Huh. So maybe that was like a turning point? Like he decided he didn't need all that fancy stuff anymore.
Yeah, maybe. And then there's that whole thing with Gene Wilder's old house in L.A.
Oh.
Musk bought it, promised to preserve it, even sold it to Wilder's nephew with a loan to keep it in the family. But then just recently, he filed to foreclose on the property.
Whoa. That's a pretty big turnaround.
Yeah, kind of complicated, right?
Mm.
Even with the best intentions, I guess things can get messy.
It definitely shows you that money doesn't solve everything.
So maybe there's no billionaire real estate formula after all, at least not for Elon Musk.
Seems that way.
All right, now let's jump to someone who takes a completely different approach. Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah, he's the one with all the properties, right?
Exactly. Bezos, with a net worth of $244 billion, is basically the opposite of Musk when it comes to real estate. He's built this huge, diverse portfolio across a million states.
Right.
He's got everything. Mansions, apartments, even a private island. Clearly, this guy sees real estate as a way to, build a legacy or something.
It's interesting how their approaches are so different. Like Musk is all about minimalism and Bezos is, well, not so much.
Totally. While Musk is laser-focused on SpaceX, Bezos is kind of spreading his wings across the entire real estate landscape.
That's one way to put it.
So, he recently moved to Florida, probably for the, tax benefits, but his roots are still in Washington. He's got this massive compound in Medina, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 3 houses, 5 acres, private shoreline on Lake Washington. The whole thing's got to be worth a fortune.
Talk about living large.
And then there's his billionaire bunker on Indian Creek Island in Florida.
Billionaire bunker? That sounds intense.
Oh, it is. He's dropped over $180 million on properties there, including one that cost him $90 million.
$90 million for one property. That's insane.
And get this, he's planning to demolish 2 of the properties to create his ultimate Florida dream home.
Wow. So I guess security and privacy are really important to him.
For sure. Indian Creek Island is like its own little world, just for the super rich.
Makes sense.
And it doesn't stop there. Bezos also has this historic compound in Washington, D.C., a luxury apartment complex in New York City, the record-breaking $165 million Warner Estate in Beverly Hills.
$165 million.
Yep. It even has its own 9-hole golf course. And then, just for fun, a 14-acre estate in Maui.
Wow. He's got a piece of paradise everywhere.
Right. It's like he's collecting properties like they're Pokemon cards.
Yeah. So we've got the minimalist SpaceX enthusiast and the globe-trotting property collector. 2 very different approaches, but both pretty interesting.
Totally. It's like 2 sides of the billionaire coin, right?
Exactly. Makes you wonder what the other billionaires are doing with their real estate.
Oh, I know. Ready to meet our next billionaire real estate mogul.
Let's do it.
So we've seen how Musk is like totally focused on his SpaceX thing, and Bezos is building this crazy real estate empire. But what about Mark Zuckerberg? He's the CEO of Meta, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And he's worth, what, $207 billion?
Or something like that.
So you'd think he'd be following Bezos' lead, right? Like snapping up mansions left and right.
Well, not quite. Zuckerberg's approach is, I'd say it's a little more like strategic.
Strategic? How so?
Well, think about his properties in Palo Alto.
Okay, yeah.
So he started with his first house there, a pretty nice $7 million place. But then, get this, he bought up 4 of the houses around it.
Whoa. Talk about creating your own little world.
Right. He spent a total of $30 million just to have that whole area.
I guess when you're running a company like Meta, privacy is, like, priceless.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like he's building his own little Silicon Valley fortress.
Haha, yeah. So he's not jet-setting around the world like Bezos, but he's definitely got his own thing going on.
Definitely.
But what about other places? Does Zuckerberg have any, like, secret hideaways?
Oh, absolutely. He's been buying up properties in some pretty amazing locations. Like, he's got this plan for a huge compound on Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe, wow. That's beautiful.
Right. He wants to build this massive 20,000 square foot house with, like, a timber and glass design. And then there's a bunkhouse for guests, a gym, guest houses, even office space.
Wow. So it's like a work-life balance retreat.
Exactly. A place to relax and come up with the next big idea.
Pretty sweet. But didn't Zuckerberg also buy a bunch of land in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah. He's been investing a lot in Kauai. He owns over 700 acres on the North Shore there.
700 acres. That's like a whole town.
Pretty much. And it comes with, the oceanfront, an organic farm, the whole 9 yards.
So I guess even tech billionaires dream of owning a piece of paradise.
It seems that way. It's like they all want their own escape from, the real world.
I can't say I blame him.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the tech-focused guy in his Palo Alto fortress, the global property collector, and now the Hawaiian island owner. Who's next on our list?
Well, let's talk about Larry Ellison, the co-founder of Oracle. He's got a real estate story that's, well, a little different.
Oh, yeah.
Ellison is, like, obsessed with these idyllic beach towns.
Look, he actually buys them.
Pretty much. He started buying up property in Malibu back in the early 2000s, and now he owns like 12 houses there,
Wow.
including this insane beachfront mansion that he bought from a Hollywood producer for, get this, $38 million.
$38 million. Okay, this guy is serious about his beach life.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's not even the craziest part. He also owns almost all of Lanai, an island in Hawaii.
Wait, he owns a whole island?
98% of it.
Seriously?
Yeah. He paid something like $300 million for it, and he's turning it into this, like, sustainable utopia.
Okay, now that's impressive. So he's got Malibu and a private island. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. He's got this thing for Florida, too. He bought a waterfront estate in North Palm Beach for $80 million, and then he set a record by paying $173 million for another property in Manalapan.
$173 million for one property. That's got to be some kind of record, right?
I think so.
So beaches and islands are his thing.
It seems like it, but wait, there's more. He's also got a bunch of properties in Newport, Rhode Island, including a mansion that used to belong to the Astor family.
The Astors. Wow. So he's into historic mansions, too.
Yeah, he's actually turning that one into an art museum.
This guy is like a real estate superhero. He's got everything.
Haha, pretty much. And he's not done yet. He's also got his main house in San Francisco in the Pacific Heights neighborhood.
Pacific Heights, that's like super exclusive.
Yeah, one of the most expensive areas in the country. He's got a mansion there that cost him almost $4 million, and then just for fun, he bought the house next door for $40 million.
Okay, Ellison is officially the king of billionaire real estate. So we've got the tech guy, the globetrotter, the island owner, and now the beach house collector. What a wild ride.
And we're not done yet. We still have a few more billionaires to cover.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Who's up next?
Well, let's move on to someone who takes a very different approach, someone who values simplicity and practicality. Let's talk about Bill Gates.
So we've seen billionaires, building their own little worlds, collecting properties all over the globe, even buying entire islands. And it's clear that there's, like, no one way to do billionaire real estate. But now, let's talk about Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, famous philanthropist.
Bill Gates, yeah, he's an interesting one.
He's worth, let me check my notes, $158 billion.
Yeah, big money.
But he seems to be a little different,
Yeah.
Like, he enjoys the perks of being rich, but he also wants to, like, use his money for good.
Uh-huh.
And his main home Xanadu 2.0, it kind of shows that,
Oh
right?
yeah, Xanadu 2.0. That place is legendary.
I know, it's like the ultimate tech dream house, 60,000 square feet.
It took 7 years to build and cost like $63 million.
Wow. So tell me, what's so special about it?
Well, you've got the underwater sound system in the pool, a trampoline room, a library with a dome inspired by the Pantheon in Rome.
It sounds insane.
It is. But there's also, like, a deeper side to it. There's a whole room dedicated to Gates' collection of Leonardo da Vinci manuscripts.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he's not just collecting expensive things. He's preserving history and knowledge.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's the horse farm he bought for his daughter in California.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. Evergreen, right?
Yeah. 228 acres, racetrack, guest houses, stables, the works. His daughter's a competitive equestrian, so it's like a dad supporting his kid's passion.
That's sweet. But you know what else I found interesting about Gates? His farmland.
Oh, yeah, he's the biggest private owner of farmland in the U.S.
I know, like 270,000 acres across 19 states.
Crazy, right?
It makes you think, what's he doing with all that land?
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's a good investment. But Gates has also talked about, like, improving agriculture, making sure there's enough food for everyone.
So maybe it's like a way to combine making money with making a difference.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got the tech guy who loves luxury but also wants to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. He's kind of the opposite, right?
Oh, yeah. Buffett is all about, like, simple living, even though he's worth $119 billion.
I know. And get this, he's lived in the same house in Omaha since 1958.
Can you believe that?
It's amazing. He bought it for like $31,500 back then.
And now it's probably worth like $700,000.
Still pretty modest for the billionaires.
Oh.
Like he's saying, hey, money doesn't buy happiness.
Exactly. He's content with what he has, and it's worked out pretty well for him.
But he does have one other property, right? A vacation home.
Yeah, he's got this place in Laguna Beach, California, right on the beach. He bought it back in '71 for $150,000.
A beachfront property for $150,000. That's like a steal.
I know, right? And now it's worth like $11 million. But even that's, pretty low-key compared to what some other billionaires have.
Yeah, Buffett's definitely got his own style. So let's recap. We've got the minimalist focused on space, the real estate empire builder, the tech guy creating his own little world, the philanthropist with a taste for luxury, and the value investor who's perfectly happy with simple living.
What a range, right? It shows that there's no one right way to be a billionaire, even when it comes to real estate.
It's like their properties tell a story, about who they are, what they care about.
Absolutely. And I think that's the big takeaway here. It's not about how much money you have. It's about making choices that reflect your values, your vision for your life.
I love that. It's inspiring, It reminds us that we can all be intentional about the spaces we create for ourselves, even if we're not, buying private islands. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of billionaire real estate.
It's been fun exploring this with you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, whether you're dreaming of a tiny house or a sprawling estate, make sure it reflects who you are and what makes you happy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time.